Okay, be honest with me for a second. When you're in it, when you're deep in the work, you're learning, you're trying, but nothing, absolutely nothing on the outside is changing. You hit that wall.
Right.
That core dilemma we saw in so many of the accounts we looked at. What if all this hard work just isn't enough?
Enough for what, though? I mean, that's the real question, isn't it? Enough for success.
Yeah, or enough to move ahead, to not feel like you're just wasting your life while, everyone else seems to be getting their wins, their promotions.
They're visible wins. That's the key word.
Exactly. I'm asking for that person who's putting in all the effort, working early, working late, but seeing zero tangible difference. They just feel invisible.
Well, if that feeling sounds familiar to you, you really need to listen to this. Because the most dangerous lie we believe is that effort is supposed to pay off, quickly or linearly.
It's a simple input-output equation.
Precisely. And the truth we found in this material is often the complete opposite. The people who end up with real, lasting success, they almost all quit. They almost quit right before things were about to change.
Okay, let's unpack that. This deep dive comes from some really candid research looking at that mental struggle of just sustained effort. And our goal today is to look right at that specific psychological state.
Yeah.
That feeling of being exhausted. And it's not physical, not from lack of sleep. It's that mental burnout that comes from putting in maximum effort and getting minimum or even zero visible results.
That's it. And our mission here is really specific. We want to pull out those counterintuitive lessons on how you can redefine hard work itself so the quiet effort you're putting in now actually sustains the success you want later.
Without breaking your spirit in that long, quiet, monotonous middle.
Exactly.
So let's start with the struggle itself, because that feeling of just being depleted mentally, it's so pervasive in this material. We're talking about the fatigue you get from a constant lack of visible difference.
Right. You're pouring all this energy into something, applications, learning a new skill, building a business, and the world just gives you silence back.
It's not even a loud no. It's just nothing. It's like you don't even exist.
And that silence, that's what leads directly to that really corrosive thought process.
Maybe I'm just not special.
Maybe I'm just not special, or maybe I've just hit my ceiling. I'm giving 100% and the result is 0. So mathematically, I must be a 0.
And what I found so fascinating is that the sources suggest this isn't just some passing feeling. It's like the daily internal monologue of the people who eventually succeeded.
Oh, absolutely. The context here is just so critical. The people who had these huge breakthroughs, they reported feeling, totally unqualified, average, maybe even like a fraud.
Not just once in a while.
No, not once, like every single day during that quiet early phase. And this is the paradox. That feeling of intense self-doubt isn't a sign that you're on the wrong path. It's often a sign that you're on the right one, that you're pushing into real discomfort.
But why is that part of the story always hidden? When you read a success story, it jumps from the aha moment straight to the big public win.
Because it's boring.
Right.
And boring doesn't sell. I mean, it doesn't get clicks. These successful narratives, they only show the result. They completely skip the painful, monotonous, soul-crushing middle part.
Yeah, you don't see the TED Talk about the 3 years spent rewriting the same email, hoping for a response.
You don't. Or the quiet desperation of working on something you believe in, but you have no proof anyone else ever will. The story hides the truth, which is that success is just its consistency, but over a much longer timeline than you ever budgeted for.
So we're sitting there comparing our messy, invisible behind-the-scenes work to someone else's perfectly polished highlight reel.
And that gap, that's where all the self-doubt lives and thrives. But you have to see that self-doubt is just the tax you pay for chasing something that actually matters. If it were easy, you wouldn't feel the doubt.
Okay, so that deep invisibility, that feeling, it leads us right to what the sources call the quiet quitting point, the real danger zone. It highlights this. This long phase, maybe a year, maybe more, where every application is rejected, every idea is ignored. And it all leads to this gut-wrenching question. If I just disappeared from this path right now, would anyone even notice? Would it matter?
And that moment of total isolation, that is the psychological danger zone. Because here's the thing, we learned about how most people fail. It isn't loud.
Right. It's not some big dramatic explosion.
No, not at all. There's no public scandal, no definitive rejection that forces you out. They stop trying deeply. They quit, but they do it quietly. They don't announce it to anyone. Sometimes they don't even announce it to themselves.
So what does that actually look like in practice? That silent quitting?
It's a reduction in the quality of the effort. It's letting distractions creep in because, Probably won't matter anyway.
Focusing on being busy instead of doing the deep, hard work.
Exactly. You lower your investment, you shift your focus to safer, easier things, and you just let that momentum you worked so hard for just bleed out until the whole thing just fades into the background noise of your life.
It's a slow erosion,
Yeah.
not a sudden collapse. And that's what's so dangerous about it.
It is. And recognizing that low point, that moment where you realize your hard work feels totally optional and invisible, that's so vital. Because that is precisely where consistency breaks down for like 99% of people.
So just knowing that this feeling is part of the map, that it's coming, that can help you prepare for it.
It's everything.
But wait a minute. How do you know the difference? How do we distinguish between this, productive doubt that means you're close versus actual real evidence that this path is just wrong and you should stop?
That's a great question, a crucial one. And the sources suggest the difference is in where you place the blame. If you quit because the situation isn't giving you what you want, the market's bad, your boss is unfair, that's probably quitting too soon. But if you stop because you've realized there's a real misalignment with your skills or your values, and you're pivoting with intention to something else, that's a smart change. The people who made it, they struggled with the first reason, the lack of external feedback.
Okay, so if the struggle is normal and that low point is pretty much universal, then the big question is, how do you survive it? How do you keep going when there's literally no proof it's going to work?
Right. And the answer is about shifting your focus entirely.
Yeah.
Away from the outcome and toward yourself. The material details this really uncomfortable realization they had in those low moments.
Which was?
That quitting, it wouldn't actually hurt the situation. I mean, the job market would not care. The world wouldn't notice one less application, but it would profoundly hurt their identity.
So the cost isn't an external failure. It's an internal compromise.
That's it, precisely. The goal shifted for them. It stopped being about achieving some external thing right now, and it became about maintaining their internal character. They didn't want to become someone who ran away the moment life stopped clapping.
Wow.
So they kept working to protect their own self-image.
That's a heavy, powerful reframe. And it leads right into this analogy the sources use, which I think is just brilliant. We need a new definition for hard work. If it isn't a contract that guarantees a payoff, what is it?
It's a vote.
A vote.
Hard work isn't a contract, it's a vote. And think about what that means. A contract is transactional. I put in X amount of work, so I am guaranteed Y result by Z date.
Right.
And when you treat work like a contract, you get instantly demoralized when you hold up your end of the bargain. But the world doesn't hold up its end.
The world breached the contract. So I'm justified in walking away.
Exactly. But a vote is different. It's a statement of identity. It's a long-term investment in a future. Every single day that you show up and do the work, you are casting a vote for the person you want to become.
You're building that identity brick by brick, even if no one else can see the foundation yet.
Yes. You're not working for the applause. You're working for the integrity of your own vote.
Let's make that really practical for someone listening. If I'm casting a vote, what does the ballot box look like day to day?
The ballot box is the intentional action. It's choosing the process over the praise. So a vote looks like reading the difficult chapter instead of scrolling on your phone.
Okay.
It's sending that 50th email after the first 49 got no reply. It's rewriting that proposal one more time, even though you don't have a client for it yet. It's showing up, not because you feel motivated, but because you are honoring the vote you passed for your future self.
So the measure of success in that quiet phase isn't the return on investment. It's just, did I show up with intention today?
Did you cast your vote today? That's the only thing you can control. And that internal win, that's what keeps the engine running when the world is giving you nothing but silence.
And this reframing is so essential because when that turning point finally comes, it almost never looks the way people expect.
Not at all. Let's talk about that transition. When success finally did arrive for the people in our sources, it wasn't magical. It wasn't a giant fireworks show. It was quiet, very small. Maybe it was just one conversation with the right person, or a chance encounter that came from an application they sent a year ago and forgot about, just a tiny little shift.
And then what happens? The outside world, which only sees that tiny visible result, immediately labels it.
Wow, you got so lucky.
Right, what a lucky break.
Yeah.
They point to that one meeting, that one moment.
It's the cruel joke of the highlight reel, isn't it? They didn't see the years when nothing was happening. They didn't see the thousands of silent votes being cast when everyone else was doing something easier. So when success showed up, it was quiet. It was almost like it whispered, "You're ready. Your foundation was built in the dark. That's why I'm here now, because you can handle me.
This changes the entire definition of failure. So if success is quiet and it only shows up when you're truly ready for it, what's the ultimate lesson here? What does this all mean for someone who feels stuck today?
I think it means the real test was never about speed. Life isn't watching how fast you're moving. It's watching how long you can stay consistent without any applause.
Without external validation.
Yeah. Most people aren't beaten by some spectacular failure. They're just beaten by time. They quit too soon because their commitment was a contract, not a vote, and they didn't have the tools to keep going when the world broke that contract.
They lose the consistency war.
Yeah.
They mistake silence for a final answer.
Exactly. So even when you feel behind, and we all feel behind, just remind yourself. Being behind is not the same thing as being lost. As long as you are moving with intention, casting that daily vote, you are already miles ahead of the version of you that gave up.
So we started this deep dive with that internal struggle, right? The tired, doubting, invisible person just doing the quiet work.
Mm-hmm.
And we learned that the doubt is normal, that the low point is universal, and that hard work is really an investment in your identity. It's a vote, not a contract.
And that's really the core takeaway we want to leave you with. One day, you're going to look back and you'll realize the days you almost quit. Those were the days that actually forged your strength. So please, don't confuse silence with failure.
Sometimes life is quiet, not because it's ignoring you, but because it's watching. It's testing you. It's waiting to see if you'll keep going without needing the praise, without the external proof.
The work you do in the dark, that quiet persistence. That is exactly what builds the foundation you need to stand in the light. And when you finally get there, when that small change happens and success becomes visible, you won't just be successful, you'll be unbreakable.
Because you built it yourself.
You built it in silence, without a contract.